Christy Cawley, where'd you come from?
Castle.
Castle.
We moved to Ballinboy then when I was about 6 or 7. Tony Hughes was my teacher. Mrs. Duffy was my first teacher. She was in the low infants and high infants and that. And then we went in Tony Hughes' class.
That Gruski school must have been fairly new that time, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was the old school actually.
Oh,
there was always a school there in Kruski. But coming to the end of my term, they built a new school. So I didn't get to go to the new school.
And where'd you go to then?
Well, I went to the Tech then for a few years. I finished school very early, or 15 and a half, I think I left school.
Oh.
And I got a job then as the...
What were you doing?
All I wanted was driving, so I got a job in the cap factory. With Liam Welch, he was the manager there, and he owned the cap factory and the handkerchief factory at the time, making caps and that and handkerchiefs. And I used to send them out. I used to parcel them up and send them away to all the different companies and that, you know. Then I started driving the van for him. He had all workers out the country, you know, on machines at that time, and I used to deliver the handkerchiefs. And
they had sewing machines, didn't they?
They had all sewing machines, yes, yeah.
And what were they making?
They were making handkerchiefs. They were sewing the handkerchiefs. They were hemming handkerchiefs really, you know, at the time, and also the caps. They were sewing on the peaks on the caps and things like that, you know, but mostly handkerchiefs, you know.
And what was the name of the company at that time?
The cap factory. Sorry, the cap factory. It was actually at the back of Matt Malloy's. That's where the factory was there, at the back of Golden's chemist shop. It's still there. The building is still there.
And what years were them about?
Oh, well, let's see. About 1966, I'd say that was around that time.
Okay, and then you moved on to Costello McDermott?
Costello, HB and Ballinrobe, yes. I was over 20 years there, 21 years actually.
You were a long time with them, yeah.
Yes. I had a very small base when I started here, you know. But we built it up on that, and we had most of the town, I had Ackle and Lewisburg and all that area. Working with Costello McDermott, so I did. So, it was good then.
What did you do next?
Next I went and started up a taxi business, about in 1994 I think it was, you know. And progressively I got 2 cars, and then I went into the bus business. I see an opening for buses, and I can't have been involved in football and that. So I got a lot of work for the buses at the time. So now I'm concentrating more on buses at the moment. I have a taxi already, as it is. Myself and my wife Aileen and Darren, my son, helps out on the business, and it's going quite well, so it is, you know. But
you were big into sport as a young man?
I was very big into sport, yes, yeah. I started, I always played Gaelic football. Gaelic was the sport, that's it, you know. When I started off, the band was in kind of when I was a very young fella, you know. But then I just concentrated on the Gaelic. I wasn't great at Gaelic. I felt myself I wasn't great at Gaelic, you know. And a friend of mine, Sean Langan, he played a bit of rugby on the wing for Westport, you know, and he was asking me to come down, like, you know, because it was all town people, it was all business people, and the Hugheses in Westport, the O'Malleys and the Stantons and people like that played rugby, you know. It wasn't country lads at all. So I was really one of the first of the new breed from the country that came into Westport. And I happened to go down to the Bog Gate, that's where the old pitch was. And they were having a friendly match down there. I remember well the first match I played, it was a friendly match, it was a mixed match, a practice match, you know. So they said, would I like to have a go? And I was delighted. Sean Lane, I think, was on the wing and that, you know. And I remember going in and I didn't know where to play, I didn't know positions or nothing. So Jerry Garrett happened to be there, he was hooking, I think, on the day or something. You know, I said, you go in there now, you know, you go and hook, and I go out in the backs. So I went in there, and I never looked back. I spent over 20 years then hooking for Westport.
You were 20 years hooking?
21 years almost, yes.
That must be a bit of a record, is it?
Well, it probably is, yeah. I played with a lot of different people in it, you know. I was lucky, it was great though. We had some great times with the rugby, absolutely. Well, I was interested in being fit and that, and of course I didn't smoke or drink. Well, I smoked a bit at the beginning, but I gave all that up then for the rugby and that, you know. I started out boxing though first. That's what really made me for the rugby, I think, you know. The training and the fitness for the boxing. I was a couple of years in the boxing, like, you
Which club were you in?
Oh, St. Anne's boxing. It was only the one.
With Peter Mullins, is it?
With Peter Mullins, yeah. I boxed along with Peter and that, and his brothers and that, you know.
Did you go far in the boxing?
Only to Connachts, and that's all, you know. I classed myself as a fighter more than a boxer, you know what I mean, more a scrapper. Nowadays it's skill and hitting the target and all that, like. But in my time it was more, especially when you were small like me and short reach and that, you know.
How long did you box for?
I was only 2 or 3 years, and then once I took up the rugby, then I thought that was it. You can't be good at both, you know. So
and you won Connacht Cup, Junior Cup with Westport?
Certainly, yeah, that was the highlight of my career, yes, above the sports ground in Galway, yes, yeah. That was a great
What year was that?
That was 1974-75 season. In 1975 we won it, but the season started in 1974-75, you know.
Who was on the team with you that time?
Oh, there was, well, the front row was Pat Grady, of course, and Teddy Welch, unmovable. And the second row was Mick Burke and Kevin Glenn. And with the back row, Ali White, yourself, Joe McGovern and Stephen Breheny.
Yeah.
And then the scum half was Michael Dever. The out half was Jackie Morris, actually. Jackie Morris. And the centres were John Cox and John Dever, actually. And the wingers then were John Parsons. The back was Christy Loftus. Oh, Tom Naden. Sorry,
Naden,
yes, yeah. That was the team, yes, yeah.
That was a great day.
Oh, that was fantastic. God, there was such a crowd there now. I was very nervous and all that. I was really nervous about it, you know. But it worked out great for me on the day. You know.
And the minors
we
won
had
the
great
same
celebrations. And my younger brother Ray was on the minor team that day, so he was. And they won that cup, the Connacht minor cup, that won the 15 cup that day. You know, they haven't won it since, like, that's in 1975, you know. We haven't won it since.
Hard
like,
to
we
believe
didn't have the facilities then, like down at the ball gate, that's we, and down in front of, we didn't even have a pitch, like. We remember playing in Mortimer's Field. We played outside Westport House there quite a bit, you know. That's where it started against Corinthians for that kind of cup, you know. That's what made us that year. We had 3 matches against Corinthians that year to decide who got through.
That was the semi-final, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was, yes, yes. Then I went on, I was awful lucky. I got a run in with Connacht in 78-80. I got 2 seasons playing with Connacht, which was a great buzz for me too, like, you know, playing the different teams, Munster and Leinster and Ulster, you know. Wearing the green jersey. I was very happy about that. You know.
That was a big honour, yeah, wasn't it?
That was a huge honour then, yeah, because there wasn't many lads picked for Connacht from the club. Remember, we were playing Galwegians, I think, one day down there, and there was a Paddy Riley, who was the manager of them, and he was managing that team, and I was playing against his team and that. And I remember I went into the dressing room after, he said, "Where's the guy with the 3 legs?" You know, because we had won everything in the scrum, all the balls and all that, you know. So that's how I probably got on. I had the letter still that I got.
And you played for about 20 years, yeah?
21 years, I'm around 21 years, yes. Yeah, so I did, yes. A lot of different players. And we had some great trips though. We were in the Isle of Man at one stage, one year. I remember it was the jersey of the Isle of Man. My daughter was Martina, I don't know if you know Martina.
Yeah.
She was, we're expecting our first child, you know. And of course, on the morning, on the day we were to go to the Isle of Man, of course, I had to bring my wife. We were all set for going. I brought in my wife to the hospital and there was nothing doing, and I had to tell the lads I couldn't go, you know, on this trip, you know. So by 1 o'clock or something we got word Martina was born then, and I went up to see Aileen, my wife, and the child was great and fine, everyone's fine. She said you might as well go, she'd be on it plodding around the house anyway. So that hasn't been forgotten by everyone.
That was a very understanding wife.
That was a very understanding wife, because we got married while playing rugby and everything, so we did, you know. And it was all our kids while I was playing rugby.
And on top of that, then you won all the matches.
And yeah, exactly. But it was some great. I think we went to Jersey to another year now, and we had a great trip in Jersey. I remember. I know it was a very social thing out there, the friendly matches. I know one day I was playing. We were playing a team in Jersey, or I don't know if Jersey was the team of that, and we went for a scrum. I think it was halfway through the first half, and I went down for this scrum, and I had no prop. I couldn't find the prop. He had got sick. He was in the next field, but to wait for him, he got a bit of sickness. We got to mention any names now.
I don't think he'd mind, would he?
No. I was talking to him today. Actually, it's funny. I didn't say it to him.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. But they were very solid. That they never let you down. That team, you know what I mean. You get into trouble, and I got into a fair bit of trouble, as you probably know. You know.
Well, I think the boxing stood to you.
I think yes, yeah. Well, they used to pick on me because I was so small, I think, and that the big fellas, you know.
You were whatever for them.
But I had good guys around me, the Kevin Glenn's and the Mick Burks and that, and Pat Grady. You couldn't go wrong, you know. You know, well, he had a word there. Nail, no, he had a word there to use.
Mill. That's the famous word, all right.
Yeah. God, they were great old strong players. Like it wasn't the best team you ever got, but we were a good average team. You know what I mean? There was no superstars and anything like that. You know.
And it stuck together for a long time, didn't it?
And it stuck together for a year. It did, yes.
Nobody seemed to get injured that time.
No, you didn't. But sure, I didn't know how to hamstring was about 35, I'd say. So I didn't. You know, nowadays that hamstrings are 10 and 11. They're pulling hamstrings. You know.
Well, I don't think I'm totally correct now when I said nobody got injured. I think John Parsons broke every bone in his body, did he?
John was a great tackler.
He was a huge tackler.
He was, yes. But I haven't forgotten the times I got injured myself now, like, and I had to get the doctor after a few pints of beer to stitch me up and that and tell me I like an old woman and no anaesthetics or nothing. I think it was Dr. White actually that was doing it, you know, but he just got on with it.
He made a great job of you.
He did, because there was no anaesthetic, so there was no marks left or nothing. Is that true? So there wasn't, but they were the times I was in it, like, you know.
Any other incidents you can remember?
No, we're Skeffing after winning the cup. Well, I got injured in the end of that match in the Connor Cup, just with minutes to go.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, Teddy came down on top of me and I think he squashed my ribs or something, you know. But I think Gerard Gersh came off the last minute.
I think Gerard was one of the first subs to come on.
He was,
right?
yes, yeah.
In rugby or nationwide.
Is that right? Yes.
I think he might be the
Well,
first
he came
one
on and placed me
nationwide.
that day, you know.
For that match.
Yeah, he was delighted to get the run, you know.
Who got the score that day?
Oh, Mick Burke, it was well, 4 pints to 3 it was, you know.
Yeah.
Mick Burke, yeah.
Couldn't it be any closer?
No, it couldn't, is right, against Clifton.
Yeah.
It was something to remember.
So you had a great time playing the rugby.
Ah, great time, yeah, I enjoyed it. There was only a few pioneers, and I suppose I was one of them, myself and Tom Naven and Teddy and that. We'd go on the one car probably, that, you know, and we'd stop off in Hayden's for in Ballinasloe, these places. It was great times, you know what I mean, for some of these. It was great, it was very good. It was.
So you're a happy man now. You have any sport? What's your sport now? Have any sport now?
No, but I was doing indoor soccer there for a couple of years, you know. But I go for walks, I go walk now, like, you know.
Yeah.